So what it wanted was to drain my energy, drain my life force energy, and control me, control my power, use it for their own gain, while I stay in the dark, completely confused about what's going on. Why is there monsters everywhere? Why is there E.T.s popping up? Like, why is there ghosts everywhere? Like, what is this? What kind of horror movie did I sign up for? You know, it was like too bizarre to be real. Yet, everything I experienced, I still remember like it was yesterday. I have a really, really good memory. So, it was like this creature, this guy that I was with, it was just getting weirder and weirder, honestly. And I was still studying his motives and his behaviors and just noticing what was happening. I didn't know that he was draining me, but I knew that he was becoming more successful with his business and with his band. They were becoming more popular and more well-known underground. And I was happy. I was actually really happy for him. I thought maybe this might make him less toxic, maybe just happier. He's finally getting, recognition. Because by now he was like 28, I think, at the time. Maybe 29. He was definitely in his late 20s. And when I was sleeping one night, he would often come home after drinking a lot. He was alcoholic, so I just remember cleaning up his puke like every night and just being so fed up with him, wondering why he was like this, and why was I loyal, why was I a good partner to somebody so vile, so like a monster. Because even in the daytime, he would shapeshift. It was actually more in the daytime that he shapeshifted than at night. Sometimes. Actually, most nights I would come home and he would just be sitting on the couch, like, with his back arched all the way up, sitting straight up, waiting for me to come through the door. Just looking at me like wide eyes. Just so possessed and demonic looking. And he just turns his head, like all creepy, like, to me, and he's like, I've been waiting for you all night. Where have you been? He would start talking like a robot or some kind of like false persona to like make me feel like he's normal or something. But it was so obvious. It was like, clearly there's something wrong with you. And he's just looking at me like perched up all the way, lights on in the middle of the night. I hate lights. Like, turn on the lamp. And he would just have these bright lights, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why are you acting so weird? You're not acting like Wyatt. That was his name. You're not acting like him. It's like I'm talking to a completely different being right now. And then sometimes he would talk back to me, and he'd be like, you are. And he would say, we are Legion, and we love you. And I would be so freaked out, because it would just go on and on and on and on and on about how it's the Legion of Demons. It would call itself all kinds of names, and I would just treat them with respect, like I would anyone else, and I would just be like, okay, and what is your existence like, and why are you doing this, and why have you taken over his body, what's really going on? And they would just keep telling me that everything was okay, and that I have nothing to be afraid of, and that I just don't know my own power yet. And I'm like, so confused, because it's like they're empowering me, and they're reminding me who I am. They were the first ones who reminded me and awakened me to who I really was as an ancient deity, Persephone. And they would say, don't you know who you are? You're the goddess of the underworld. And I would just look at them like, are you insane? I'm like, who even is that? Like, what are you talking about? Because this was 10 years ago. I didn't know who I was at all. I didn't know anything, really. All I knew was that I loved music. I loved art. I loved things that were dark. I liked strange people, and I like so many different things that make me feel different. That made me feel like maybe I was being too much for others. So I would have to gatekeep myself. And I knew that I was worth so much more than what I had been told and sold. And they were reminding me who I was. And I didn't believe them, not at the time. It was too bizarre for me to believe. But then I had multiple awakenings within these 10 years. And I had so many confirmations that they weren't actually lying to me. And I was an ancient deity. I was Persephone. In another incarnation, there are several incarnations of me, but there is also many others who are not awake, and they don't know who they are. It is only one aspect of me. The E.T.s kept contacting me and showing up. They were giving me information about how to handle the situation that I was in so that I could get out of it. And I was listening to a lot of Bashar at the time while I was with the ex-boyfriend. And he was basically teaching me how to handle these tough situations that I put myself in. And I knew that I had to be stronger. I knew that I was only pretending to be weak, pretending like I wasn't strong, pretending like I didn't have a backbone. Because I did. I just was trying to be safe because he was very, very tall and big. And there were some nights where he came home and he was very abusive. But he was mostly just a cheater. He wasn't super physically abusive, but he was a cheater and very emotionally abusive. So when I was talking to his demons, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was like all of a sudden he was kind and respectful, like a gentleman. It was so weird. It's like, I thought you were supposed to be like really evil. And they're like, oh yeah, like we are. It's people that we don't like, basically. And I was fortunate to be liked by them. They respected me, they loved me. They liked messing with me too. They're tricksters. But most of all, they wanted to let me in on some secrets. And they were kind of messing with my evolution. They were kind of trying to wake me up. but I wasn't fully ready to be woken up. I had only just begun to understand what kind of universe I was in, and they were just trying to nudge me into the unknown, basically. And the E.T.s would show up in the sky, their UFOs, and I was just studying them, safely studying them from afar. I wasn't trying to get abducted, but I was trying to make sure that I knew everything that I needed to know possible about E.T.s, so that I knew what I was dealing with.